morning, boys and girls. I'm here today to read you a couple of stories, and they're going to be really fun. I hope you like them. We have our friend Hazel over here, who decided to take the rabbit. So our stories have to do with farm animals, or animals on the farm. Now, this book is called Mr. Duck Means Business. He means business. And this book is by Tammy Sauer. Okay. Mr. Duck lived by himself at the pond. Each day he followed a tight schedule. He's following a tight schedule. From 6 in the morning until 7, he would stretch his wings. From 7 until 8, he would fluff his feathers. And approximately 8:01, he would glide across the perfectly still water. Ah, said Mr. Duck, it's so peaceful. I have everything I need. So day after day, week after week, and year after year, everything was the same. And Mr. Duck was very happy. And then one day, especially on a hot summer day, Mr. Duck had just begun his morning gliding when he saw, what did he see? He saw a pig. A big pig. Look out below. Oink, oink. Splash. Uh-oh. Mr. Duck sputtered. He muttered. He was mad. And he tailed fluttered. But Pig did not get the message. He kept splashing in the water. Mr. Duck was all set to give a pig a strongly worded speech regarding his private property when... Well, there you are, said Cow. Let's see your moves, called Pig. Jump in. You don't mind, do you, Mr. Duck? Said Cow, as she plowed past. Moo and splash. Jumped in the cow. Mr. Duck grumbled. He mumbled. He flip-flopped, fumbled. But Pig and Cow did not get the message. Mr. Duck was all set to tell them what was when. Hey, said Goat, we've been looking all over for you. Anyone up for a game of Marco Polo? Called Pig. Last one is a rotten egg. Cheap to chick. Come on, Mr. Duck, said Cow. You are it. And all the animals jumped in the water. The water got wild, the scenery got crowded, and the peace and quiet, well, it was gone. Mr. Duck tapped. He flapped. And he totally snapped. And he quacked so loudly. And somebody got the message. He let out a big quack. Now, boys and girls, do you remember the letter of the week? Last week was the letter Q. Well, there it is. That big Q. Very loud. With a quack, quack, quack. Perhaps we've overstayed our welcome, said Chick. Oh, said the other animals. Out, out, out. Out of my pond, cried Mr. Duck. This time, I mean business. So sorry. My apologies. Goodbye for good, said Mr. Duck. Sorry to have bothered you, said Chick. Thanks for letting us swim in your pond. Alone at last, Mr. Duck returned to his routine. He stretched his wings. There was no splashy belly flopping. He fluffed his feathers. There was no annoying water ballet. He glided across the perfectly still water. There was certainly no rowdy around of Marco Polo. Ah, said Mr. Duck. It is so peaceful, so quiet, and just the way I like it. On Monday, quiet. On Tuesday, very quiet. On Wednesday, peaceful. On Thursday, very peaceful. On Friday, yawn. On Saturday, Mr. Duck twiddled his feathers peacefully and quietly, of course. But on Sunday, let's see what happened on Sunday. Mr. Duck, he had a plan. What is his plan? These days, Mr. Duck still loves to stretch at 6 a.m. He still loves to fluff his feathers at 7 a.m. He still loves to glide across the perfectly still water at precisely 8:01 a.m. But sometimes life calls for a little noise. It says, his sign says, noise is welcome from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. And all the animals read the sign, especially with friends. And as you can see, all the friends were able to jump in the water. And that is the end of our perfectly wonderful story about Mr. Duck. Right, boys and girls, I hope you like that story. I have another story called There's a Cow in the Road. There it is, A Cow in the Road by Reeve Lindbergh. All right, boys and girls, here it is. There's a cow in the road, and it sure is a shock when I first wake up at 7 o'clock. To hear the horns and the screech of brakes and to go to the window and see, gosh sakes, there's a cow in the road. She's a big one, browsing on blossoms drenched with dew. All the cars have to stop short. Then the cow looks at me. There I am in the window. And the cow says, moo. And the next thing I know, there's a goat there too. There's a goat coming out of the tree. There's a goat in the road at the edge of our drive as I pull out my socks at 7:05. He's got 4 white feet and a fine white beard. He's a gorgeous goat, but it still seems weird. There's a goat in the road, as plain as can be, and our paper boy is hiding behind a tree. And the cow looks at me, and the cow says moo, and the next thing I know, there's a sheep there too. There's a sheep. There's a sheep in the road with her fleas all clean as I wash my face at 7:15. Don't ask me the reason. I don't have a clue. She's just standing there with the other two, the goat and the cow. There's a sheep in the road, and the drive meets the grass, and there's just enough room for the cars to pass. But the cow looks at me, and the cow says, moo. And the next thing I know, there's a horse there too. There's the horse. There's a horse in the road, and he's full of tricks as I comb my hair at 7:26. He's twitching his tail and tossing his mane. He's a handsome horse, but a little bit vain. There's a horse in the road, all ready to go. He doesn't look sleepy and he doesn't look slow. Then the cow looks at me and the cow says moo. And the next thing I know, there's a goose there too. There's a goose on the road. She's down by the tree as I grab my homework at 7:33. She's walking around and honking a lot. She's looking for something, but she won't say what. There's a goose in the road in a gray feather gown, telling barnyard stories from all over town. Then the cow looks at me, and the cow says moo. And the next thing I know, there's a pig too. There's a pig in the road, and it's easy to see that the road is the place for a kid like me. So the cow looks at me, and the cow says moo. For the next thing I know, I am standing there too. There's a crowd in the road. There wasn't before. Side by side at 7:44, the cow and the goat and the sheep and the horse and the goose and the pig. And me, of course. There's a crowd in the road, and it sure feels good to wait all together in our neighborhood. So why are we waiting? So we won't be late. What are they going to be late for? Let's find out. Oh, the school bus comes at 7:45. The school bus was picking up the child, so all the animals were waiting with her. Wonderful listening, boys and girls. And there's the back of the book and the front of the book. Great listening to There's a Cow in the Road and to Mr. Duck Means Business. Great job. We'll see you again tomorrow. Hazel, say goodbye. She likes her Elmo.